over the decades, there have been multiple artists. I mean, you guys just mentioned a few that have championed causes. Um, in California, there has been uh, El Teatro Campesino.
Mm.
For more than 50 years, El Teatro Campesino and the founder, Luis Valdez, has been defending the rights of farm workers. A few years ago, I got a chance to interview Luis Valdez, and he reminded me and reminded us all for a story that I did for NPR that the situation has not improved for farm workers. This is what he said. There's a special mystique that exists about vegetables and vegetarians and all of this, but they have no thought. Where does all the celery come from? Where do the carrots come from? Where does the lettuce come from? All of these wonderful salads that people eat, where does that stuff come from? It comes from the hands of people that are stooping over in the fields and sweating their asses off to get it done right.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
hasn't changed. And you guys have continued to champion the cause of farm workers. Tell us about that work.
Go ahead, Raul.
I think from a perspective of where we're coming from, it is really about human dignity across the board. And as we spoke about earlier, a band really was inspired by a protest for workers' rights. So you see that in every sector of society, and here in California, which is like a huge farm state, one of the places that feeds so many people and is a huge part of the sixth largest economy in the world on its own, in the state of California. It's always a shock and absurd and disappointing and a reminder of the way our society is set up, where many people who do that work, who do the basic work that is a necessity more than a lot of other stuff, um, get overlooked. And so it's been set up that way from I think from way back whenever there were owners and people who could control um, labor. There's such deep policies in it, and over time, but really on a human level, every day, it's about respecting other people. And like you said and mentioned, that's never really been solved, and we still have an unbalanced society that way, where a lot of money is in one little part, and people who do a lot of work don't get a lot, and you see that in the history of this country, along with many other countries. But we are inspired by that and by the movements for equality in that. We wrote a song called La Temperatura, and that was really Uli and Will going. And I'd like to hear Will's words about that. But we were in the studio working. I think it was our second or third or fourth record, and people were talking about wanting to write a song about what's going on now, and Uli and uh, Will went downtown to some marches, and I'd love to hear your story about it because I didn't go that day because I think I was recording, but I remember them going and coming back super inspired, and we wrote La Temperatura in response.
Yeah, that I believe it was 2006, the Million Latino March on Wilshire. It was
I was there.
You were there. Yeah, I believe it was 2006. And yeah, we were recording that. We were recording an album, and Uli and I were like, we gotta go, man, because the whole city was shut down. Really, I mean, you don't have, that just shows how much our city, our society needs immigrants. That you have an immigrant march like that, and our whole state basically is going to shut down. So Uli and I went, and we were just so inspired. Like we were like there, um, in this enormous crowd that, I mean, we stopped and we tried to wait and like let everybody go by, and it would have been hours. And we were just like, we got to write a song now. We got to write a song about this. And yeah, so that's how Temperatura came. And I believe we came in and we sat down with Raul, I think, and came up with the vibe. And then Justin, I believe, came in with he came in with the main beat. And we were like, oh, let's make it like a soca or a like a semi-punta vibe, which is Central American, African. Yeah. And so yeah, that's where Temperatura, and it's really about bringing the heat up and continuing that fight, for justice.
Let's take a listen. Let's see a little bit of a video of this song, La Temperatura, with my guests Raul Pacheco and Will Dog of Ozomatli.